let me say this. For you Aboriginal Negroes out here running around talking about y'all Aborigines, American Aborigines. I'm not gonna say that we don't have Native American or Aboriginal indigenous blood running through us. I'm not denying that. But to just deny that you all, like, they didn't bring no African slaves to North America is just redundant. And then you Negroes asking where the ships at. Like nigga, do you all know how acidic salt water is? Salt water is fucking acidic as fuck. These Negroes run around here talking about where the slave ships that brought us over here. I like those ships no longer exist because the salt water, some of those ships, don't you know they actually sunk ships to collect insurance from the slaves they brought over here? To show you how dumb you Negroes are with this Aboriginal shit. The skeletal remains of those people they found in Wall Street that they gonna say those was Aboriginal blacks. No, they were not. They did the skeletal test on those people and found out they had 2 teeth mutilations. Only place where they do that at is West Africa. So that was a West African graveyard full of West African slaves from Senegal. Now, I'm not saying that there was not no copper-colored Aborigines. But we all know that Africans have been coming to the Americas for thousands of years before Europeans. So, yes, it's possible that some Africans mixed with the Aboriginals. Some of them, you have some actually did have some black Aboriginals. No doubt about it. I'm not saying you don't, but just to sit up there and say, oh, well, we all just Aboriginal, wasn't no Africans over here. And I said Africans built some of the greatest civilizations ever. Metallurgy, the motherfucking, some of the greatest civilization that ever existed in West Africa. You think I'm gonna turn that down for some primitive Native American flint tools and shit? Really? That primitive ass shit? Dr. said he right. General said he right. Like the pyramids and shit they built, them fucking mounds they built up on top of each other, fucking earthworks. What is that compared to Giza? Only pyramids in the Americas that come close to the pyramids of Giza is the pyramids down in Teotihuacan down in Mexico. The Mayan and Aztec pyramid. And those were actually built over and added over years. And the ones in Teotihuacan were built on the same parameters as the Egyptian pyramids of Giza, the Giza Plateau. So that right there shows you it's a lot of African influence there in the Americas, including the Olmec heads. So I'm not knocking Aboriginal, black Aborigines, don't get me wrong, but just to sit up here and say Africans haven't came over here and they haven't brung no African slaves when they brung slaves from all parts of Africa. That's why this Ethiopian girl who did 4 DNA tests, 4, may I add, 4 DNA tests, this Ethiopian sister, she found out that she had Taino Native American blood. That was right. They did bring Aborigines to Africa, not just Liberia. They brought them back, and some of the indigenous blacks that left and came over to Africa, just like you had Africans that came and settled in the Americas. You had indigenous Aboriginals, the red and brown, that came to Africa and settled. That's why you got a high indigenous American blood rate on the DNA count on the island of Cape Verde. Yes, they brought indigenous Indians along with East Indian coolies, and they intermarried with the Africans, the East Indian coolies, indigenous natives. Same thing that happened in South America, in Guyana. You had indigenous Native Americans that intermarried with the East Indians, from Indians to Tamils, and the Africans. They intermingled together. That's what happened. The East Indians married indigenous Native women and Africans, and then they made a whole melting pot of cultures of people. This shit been going on for thousands of years. Europeans just now, only ones nuanced to a lot of the globe-trotting people of color is white people. White people actually new to globe-trotting. It's new to them. But I digress.